Hello and welcome to 3D Nato. My name is Nato, and today I'll start a new series on the channel called Pop Culture Replicas. This series will bring a lot of cartoons, games, and movie iconic items into Blender. Today's video was a request from a friend that wanted me to model NARUTO'S Shuriken. For this tutorial, we're going to need to enable Extra Mesh Objects extension. To enable, go to Edit, Preferences, Get Extensions, and install it. The first thing I like to do is to delete everything in the scene and set units length to millimeters. Press A to select all objects in the scene and X to delete. On scene, go to Units and set length to millimeters. To create the base mesh for the Shuriken, let's create a star from the extra mesh objects. Press Shift+A to add, go to Mesh, Extras, and select Simple Star. Expand the Simple Star menu, set star points to 4 and inner radius to 0.4. To zoom on objects, press numpad dot. Before we start modeling, I like to flatten this 3D shape into a 2D plane. To do this, press Tab to go to Edit Mode, S to Scale, Z to Lock Axis, type 0 and Enter to confirm. This will flatten the mesh, but we'll still need to remove some duplicate vertices. To do this, press M to merge and select by distance. To align the start points with the X and Y axes, press R to rotate, Z to lock axis, type 45 and Enter to confirm. Now I like to rescale it to the size I want the final mesh. In this case, I think 100 by 15 mm will be perfect. To do this, press Tab to exit edit mode, N to show the sidebar, and set the size to 100 mm. Notice this will mess with the object scale value, and we need to reset it to 1. When these numbers are anything other than 1, operations like bevel and inset will not work properly. To do this, press Ctrl+A to apply and select Scale. Press numpad dot to zoom on the object and tap to go back to edit mode. Now we need to subdivide the mesh and create the center hole. Let's first subdivide the star shape. Select the middle vertex, press X to delete, and select Vertices. Press A to select all, right mouse, select Subdivide, and set the number of cuts to 3. To create the hole, let's add a mesh circle. Press Shift+A to add, select Circle, set vertices to 32, and the radius to 12.5 mm. And to fill the faces, let's use the Bridge tool. Press A to select all, Ctrl+E, and select Bridge Edge Loops. Now let's raise this circle edge loop. To select an edge loop, hold Alt and left click to select it. Press G to grab, Z to lock axis, type 7 and Enter to confirm. Now I'll create a curvature on each star point. And for that, let's use proportional editing. Enable proportional editing, set it to sharp and the size to 9.5 mm. Now select the top vertices on these 4 inner star corners. Press G to grab, Z to lock axis, type -2, Enter to confirm, and disable proportional editing. To finish the center hole, we'll use extrusion and inset. Select the circle edge loop and press F to create a new face. Press E to extrude, type any positive number, and Enter to confirm. Now let's flatten this face and place it. Press S to scale, Z to lock axis, type 0, Enter to confirm, and on the sidebar, set the Z median value to 7.5 mm. Press I to inset, type 3, and Enter to confirm. Press E to extrude, type -7.5, and Enter to confirm. Press X to delete, and select faces. The mesh is complete. Now we just need to add some modifiers. Here we're going to need 3 modifiers: Mirror, Bevel, and Subdivision Surface modifiers. But before we add them, let's prepare the mesh for the Bevel modifier. Press 2 to enable Edge Selection. Select these 4 edge loops and these 8 corner edges. Press Ctrl+E, select Edge Bevel Weight, type 1, Enter to confirm, and tap to exit edit mode. Let's start adding the modifiers. Go to Modifiers, Add Modifier, Generate, add a Mirror modifier, and set the axis to Z. Add modifier, generate, add a bevel modifier, set amount to 0.25mm, segments to 4, and limit method to weight. Add modifier, generate, add a subdivision surface modifier, and set levels to 2. And for last, right mouse, select Shade Auto Smooth, and go to the UV editing workspace. With the mouse cursor on the 3D viewport, press A to select all, numpad dot to zoom on selection. Select these 4 edge loops, press Ctrl+E, and select Mark Scene. This way, we're going to use different parts of the texture for these 4 UV islands. Press A to select all, U to unwrap, and select Angle Based. Now we can create the material. So let's go to the shading workspace. I'm going to make some changes here to leave only the shader editor and the 3D viewport. This way it will be easier for you to see the full node tree. For this mesh, I'm going to choose Metal 046B PBR texture from ambientcg.com. I'll leave the link in the video description if you want to download. I'm using the 1K JPEG version. On the shader editor, click here to add new material. Now we need to add some nodes. For this material, we're going to need 4 nodes. Press Shift+A, go to Input, and add a Texture Coordinate node. Press Shift+A, go to Vector, and add a Mapping node. Press Shift+A, go to Texture, and add an Image Texture node. Press Shift+D, and duplicate the Image Texture node. Press Shift+A, go to Vector, and add a Normal Map node. Now let's start connecting these nodes to create the material. Connect the Texture Coordinate UV to the Mapping Vector socket. Connect the Mapping Vector to both Image Texture Vector sockets. Load the Roughness map and set it to non-color. Load the Normal GL map and set it to non-color. Connect the Roughness texture to the Principal Roughness socket. Connect the Normal texture to the Normal map color socket. Connect the Normal map to the Principal Normal socket. On base color, set hue and saturation to 0 and value to 0.01. And for last, set mapping scale to 3. And there you have it, a 3D replica of Naruto's Shuriken. If you're still here, it means you are liking the content of this channel. I really want to thank you for spending your time with me learning some basic Blender. I hope you have enjoyed as much as I have making it. So please, consider subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and leave a comment. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.